Hey guys, welcome. In the previous video, I introduced a framework with two very simple and commonsensical rules that we use to select our investments. That's just the starting point, and that helps us to weed out a lot of bad ideas. In this video, I'm going to introduce two more rules that we use. The third rule which we use to select our businesses is that our businesses need to have a very strong moat. And what is a moat? You remember those medieval castles? They used to have that body of water around them that used to keep the enemies away. Similarly, an economic moat is something which helps a business to fend off competition and protect its turf, to protect its margins. Let me give you a good example of a moat. Now, I'm sure you might have visited Thailand, or at least you would have heard of Thailand. It's one of the most visited countries in the world. It ranks among the top 10. And do you know Bangkok, the capital city, is the most visited city in the world? Now, there's this company called AOT, which is Airports of Thailand, which controls 6 of the top international airports in Thailand. 2 in Bangkok, 1 in Phuket, 1 in Chiang Mai, in Chiang Rai, and in Hat Yai. So it basically controls the inflow of visitors into Thailand, and higher the number of visitors, more money the company makes. So just think how strong the moat is. How easy do you think it is for a competitor to come and just sprinkle a few airports around Thailand? It's virtually impossible. The regulatory hurdles, the huge capital investments, the kind of moat that AOT has is virtually impenetrable. And I'm pretty sure even 10 or 15 years down the line, unless Thailand does something unbelievably stupid, like closes its borders to all international visitors, that would be the death of that country. AOT will be a very strong business. Think of the companies that you are familiar with. Let's take Google. Do you think Google has a strong moat? How easy do you think it is for a competitor to build a search engine and take all Google's traffic away? Or what about Facebook? With 2.5 billion active monthly users, how easy do you think it is for another social media to come up and take all of Facebook's users away? It's unfathomable, at least not in near future. Once we are fairly comfortable with the moat that protects our business, then we look at the fourth rule, which is we look at the management of the company. For us, it's very important to ensure that our businesses are run by strong CEOs, strong and capable CEOs with very high sense of integrity, and also a strong management team. And the best way to learn about a CEO is to read their shareholder letters. You can make out a lot by reading the shareholder letters over the years. That way, you will get to learn a lot about the CEO. Also, we want CEOs who don't overcompensate themselves. We don't expect the CEO to be underpaid. We want the CEOs to be duly compensated, but that should not be at the expense of the shareholders. We want CEOs who are being compensated in a way that is aligned with the shareholders. So the CEOs make more money when the shareholders make more money. And a great example is Jeff Bezos. Now, you can see in this picture the share price of Amazon over the last couple of decades as compared to the share price of JCPenney. And just look at the salary that Jeff Bezos takes. His salary has stayed constant at $82,000 a year. And he has actually written to the board requesting them not to give him an increment. Now, of course, many of you must be thinking, but he's the richest person in the world, so what's the big deal about this? Hey, he has become the richest person in the world along with making his shareholders incredibly rich. And look at the JCPenney CEO. $16 million a year, when this is the kind of return that you have generated for your shareholders? These are some factors which separate out a good business from a bad business. And once you implement these 4 very simple qualitative factors in your business selection, your long-term results from your investments will be significantly enhanced. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about a couple of quantitative factors. After having been satisfied with the qualitative selection criteria, now is the time to look at the quantitative factors. And I'm going to talk about some very easy to spot factors which will immediately tell you whether it's a good business or it's a business that you should not touch. Thank you very much for your time.